Greetings, YouTube. Today I'll be showing off some of the bargains that I've gotten, I think, in the last 2 weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks. And some of these have been at thrift shops, and some I picked up at a sale at a gaming store. Myriad Games has a branch in Manchester, New Hampshire, and they recently had a sale, and I went to it and picked up some stuff. So first we have Mosque by David McCauley, which is a book I wasn't even aware existed. David McCauley's work is just incredible when it comes to explaining how different buildings and the cultures that built them went through the process of construction over time. It's just amazing work, and his illustrations are unbelievable. So I saw this at a thrift shop, and I'm like, oh no, yeah, it might have been a yard sale. It was like $2. I'm like, I'll pick that up for $2. Then we have the 3 games I picked up. We have Part-Time Gods, a role-playing game by Eloy Lasanta. I've heard decent things about this, but I don't know much about it. We have Aasimar, Player's Guide, role-playing game core rules. I haven't really heard much about that either, but it looked interesting. I like the cover art, and so I thought I'd give it a try. And then we have Deathstalker 2. I reviewed Deathstalker, the original game version of this, and it was a horrible, horrible game. And it's huge. It's like almost 700 pages. And each of these books was originally priced for $30 a piece, and I got all 3 of them for $23, or $23.50. So less than $8 a pop. It was a good sale. So there you go. Then we have War Machine, which is the steam-powered miniatures combat game, which is part of the Iron Kingdoms line of games. Oh, this is War Machine Prime, sorry. And I bought this strictly for the illustrations and for the miniatures, which are very inspirational to me. It's a beautiful work. I'm never going to use this as a miniatures battle, but it's a lovely material for inspiration and just nice to look at. And then we have Star Wars Head-to-Head, the 30 wildest matches ever seen. And this is a Scholastic book, and it is, you've got Jabba the Hutt versus Jar Jar Binks, and then they give you stats on each person, and you go ahead and so you can compare them together for actual some kind of kitty betting version. And you have TIE Fighter versus Naboo N1 Starfighter. So there's vehicles in here, and main characters, and support characters. And I thought that was just kind of cool, and I picked it up for $3. Now the weird thing is, this is a $9 book that they charged me $3 for. It was in the magazine rack. It should have only been $2. That's a $20 book that had the $2 price on it, so they charged me $2. It was also in the magazine rack. So I paid 90% off on that book, and I got this one 60-something% off. And I didn't argue, because I didn't want them looking up the price. She looked at the price tag, see, it says $9, so that's why it's $3, even though they were both in the magazine rack. Because I didn't want her looking at that price and charging me more. So I just said, okay. It was weird. Then we have True Brit, a celebration of great comic book artists of the UK, edited by George Corey. And I, at one time, was a big fan of British comic books, and so I picked this up relatively inexpensively, and I thought I'd give it a read, and I will probably pass it on to a friend of mine who is in Britain. Originally, it was, this one says $11, and that was probably not the cover price originally, and I picked it up for like $2 or $3, so that was kind of nice. And then we have the Ellis Island Immigrant Cookbook. Story of our common past, told through the recipes and reminiscences of our immigrant ancestors, which my wife was interested in. So that was kind of cool, and it was a good price. And then we have an Iron Pig. It's a piggy bank. My wife's Chinese zodiac sign is the Iron Pig, and this has a very, very aggressive, fierce position. It's going to come right at you. Kind of made me think of the bear statue in Wall Street. That was kind of cool. And it's in really nice shape. It's like brand new. I paid like $2 for it, I think. And then we have a Nerf pistol, which is actually really tiny. And I got this for my wife, so she could take it to work for Nerf battles at the office. She has a Nerf gun at the moment, but it's kind of a lame model. It was like this little folding thing. And I picked this for $2, and it's much better, has much better range, much more positive launch, and she already has darts at work, so she's all set. And this is just going to be a little superior. And I mean, it's a single shot pistol, but it's very small and it fits her, it suits her well. So she was quite happy with that one. So these are the books I've got, a couple of the knickknacks. Next will be some DVDs and I think some general stuff. On to section 2. First thing is we have this plastic box. Now I actually have some messy shelves at the moment. You can see these piles of containers from tech gear waiting to be reviewed, like all this gear sitting here, as well as this thing scattered around my office. Well, this box is to organize all of that. This is actually designed to hold file folders, but I picked it up for $2 at a yard sale, and it has a clasp that locks, which I thought was pretty nice. So I'm going to put all of those containers in here, along with all the tech in here, so that I can put it in one spot, and then I can do a little more organizing in the office. So get everything I'm going to be in currently in the review queue in one location, and then so I can straighten things up and keep things a little more organized. And then as I review them, the containers go recycling or the garbage, depending which is appropriate. Then we have DVDs, and we have the first 3 volumes of book 1 of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I've heard great things about this, and I already have book 4, oddly enough. I found that years ago, but now I've got books 1 through 3, or volumes 1 through 3. So now I've got the first 4 volumes, which is great. And I actually have caught some of this, couple of episodes years ago when I was actually watching television, and it really was well done. So I thought I'd give that a check out, and I only paid $3 a pop for those, so that was pretty cool. Each one's got what? 4 episodes. That's less than $1 a episode. Then we have Wrath of the Titans. Now, the remake of Clash of the Titans was horrible. Now, my wife likes to joke about it because the Kraken had a beauty shot where it comes out of the water and shakes its head. She cracks her up every time she watches it. So I want to see how bad this one was. Because like Clash of the Titans, like every scene in the film, the main hero and the main heroine get better looking. It was incredible. Then we have Liam Neeson's Taken, a film I've never seen, but I've heard good things about it, so I thought I'd give that a look, and I picked it up for $1.50. Then we have Ong Bak's the Thai Warrior, which I've also heard good things about, and I've never seen. And I picked that up for $1.50. Then we have The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves, and it's a perfect thing for Keanu Reeves to play a wooden alien. And so I thought I'd see how the remake is, because the original is a classic. And again, it was like $1.50, $2, something like that. Then we have Eddie Izzard, Dressed to Kill, because my wife is a major Eddie Izzard fan. And not only is he an incredibly talented comedian, a good actor, a linguist. He's actually learning new languages so he can do his routines in foreign countries. But one of the greatest marathon runners the world has ever seen. I'm not joking about that. The guy is incredible at marathon running. Then we have the 2-disc special edition of Ice Age, a film I've never seen. I picked that up for $1.50. Then we have Lawrence of Arabia and the Bridge on the River Kwai, which actually come in these like book, almost look like they're volumes, which I thought was kind of cool. And these are like all kinds of bells and whistles with all kinds of extras and stuff. And I haven't seen this film in ages, and I want to see what the commentary. And I've never seen the complete Lawrence of Arabia. I've caught parts of it, but I never watched the whole thing. And I paid $2.50 a piece for those. So, or actually less than that. I think I picked up 3 movies from them. So I only paid $5 for 3 movies. So there you go. Then we have Jonah Hex, which is considered to be really horrible, and that, you can't lose on a really horrible movie. And then we have Over the Hedge, which I'm actually not 100% sure I already have, but if I do already have a copy, I'll just give this to my mother-in-law because she likes that kind of movie. So there you go. And then we have this clamp. This clamp kind of intrigued me. First of all, it was $6. It's an aluminum, got an aluminum, kind of an I-beam, not I-beam, but a beam style structure. So it's very rigid but light. And it has a positive engagement where you have this little tab here, and that clicks in to these little dimples to hold it in place while you're tightening it. Now, one of the things that I thought was interesting was, first of all, the scale, both in American Standard and in metric. But the clamp is actually on the outside. And I don't remember ever seeing a clamp where that was... Normally these are in here, so that you can put this up flush against something, or use it as to rest it on, so you can clamp when you're clamping something. And I'd never seen one with the clamp on the outside like that. But it's a very long, I mean, it's a 36-inch clamp, but I don't own a 36-inch clamp. So for $6, I'm like, okay, I got to own a 36-inch clamp. You know, you always find something that you use a large clamp for. And again, it's very light. It's really quite pleasant. And it's nice to not have a heavy clamp. Because a couple of my clamps I have are good, but they're very weighty because they're steel. So I'm going to see how well this works in actual use. Does it? That's not going to be as strong as a steel one, but I think because you're having so much less weight, that what you're losing in potential strength is made up for by utility. Particularly if you had multiples of these, you could put them onto an object and then move the object more easily than if the object had steel clamps on it. So there you go. So these have been the deals that I have found in the last couple of weeks, mostly DVDs and a few books. The gaming books were a surprise. The ones I picked up at the thrift shop, that's kind of, you just happen upon those kind of things. But the gaming books I picked up at the gaming shop were deliberate, and I had gone there specifically to buy Deathstalker 2 because I'd seen it on their shelves in the past. So I really wanted to see if I could find that, well, before someone else grabbed it. And the store opened at 10 a.m. and I was there at 10:11 a.m. and the place was already packed with people. It was just madhouse in there, and I was lucky. I about found 3 things I wanted, got in line, and got out of there pretty fast. So this has been the bargains for the week of, well, what the heck today is? Today's June 6th. Okay, there you go. For the weekend of June 6th.